Peperempe, hey, Peperempe. Come on, sugar, sugar, hey, sugar, sugar. All my sweeties. Hi, sweeties, what's up? So it's 5:30 a.m. and I'm recording this video. I just got back from Scent. Why do I have makeup? Because I did something. If you want to know what I did, watch it, come on, girls. Alright, guys, quick one. I had put up something the other day on my Instagram, and I said I was going to talk about it because I'd seen it. Nobody knew I was getting a new car until I pulled up on them. Nobody knew I got another job until they saw my work badge. Nobody knew I was moving until I got my keys. Moral of the story, move in silence. And so I put it up and I said, share your thoughts. And this is what I said after. I said I have agreed with this for the longest time, but I shifted my perspective in recent times. I say while walking in silence and moving in silence, you need to be your biggest cheerleader. Too many of us suffer from imposter syndrome and don't realize how work validation, either from ourselves, from our peers, or from audiences and family, can help pivot us to another level. So yes, let's work hard in silence. However, know when to make noise while working hard. They say empty barrels make the loudest noise. Don't let that noise be louder than your work or success. People out in the streets taking credit for work they didn't do because they're the loudest, and you are being silent and being humble. I'm going to read somebody's response to this in a second. But when I saw this, and for the longest time, I've been that kind of person. Ask anybody that knows me, people that work with me, they'll tell you. I am that kind of person. I don't like to make noise. I want my work to always speak for itself. When people go, oh, hey, I just wondered that you're the producer of this. I just wondered that you're the person that did the casting directing for this. I just wondered that you're the person that did this. You didn't say. You should be saying. I'm like, I'm sorry, if you pay attention, you'll find out. If you pay attention, you will know. If you want to know, you will know. If you watch the end credits of the film, you will know. If you watch the end credits of the web series, you will know. And then somebody told me the other day, but that's not enough. And I'm like, what do you mean that's not enough? It's like, you know how many times I've been in rooms where they are talking about things, and I'm like, but wait, it is this person that did this, but somebody else is there saying, I was there when they did this. I was part of the. No, the person will do. Shingbai, the person did not bring to the table. And so when the person told me that, I was like, listen, at the end of the day, those who know. And she says, but I'm telling you that they don't know. So what are you going to do about it? And then I thought about it and I'm like, hey. So I had to ask myself, because I do a lot of self-evaluation. If you don't, I'm going to ask you, why don't you talk to yourself, damn it? Speak to yourself. Wake yourself up and ask yourself questions. So I said, Bimbo, why genuinely don't you always feel the need to blow your own trumpets? And I was like, because humility is key. And the next question I asked myself, so Abimbola, are you saying that you don't blow your own trumpet because you want to be humble? And then I'm like, yes now. So are you saying that those who speak up and blow their trumpets are not humble? No, that's not what I'm saying. Then why don't you speak up? And so I've had to keep working on that. I'm the kind of person that I can be in a room where people are talking about things that I've done, and I will not say it's me. I don't know why. I'll just be keeping quiet. Maybe until they say, oh, it was so good, and I'll still be keeping quiet. Then maybe somebody will not answer and say, that's the person that did it, and I'm like, why didn't you say something? I'm like, there's no need to shout, Jerry. But I'm at a point in my life where I'm trying to overcome it. I want to shout. I want to scream. Sometimes inside I'm like, why are you lying? I know the person that did this thing. Empty barrels do make the loudest noise. And yes, it is good and it is great to be humble, but it's also important to speak up. Now, before I go further, let me read what Dupe of Tasala HQ responded, which was very apt and it really touched me. So she goes, hard work, even if nobody else is very important. Second, this move in silence is what leads to unnecessary tension. And all this aspire to perspire and inspire story. If you are working, please show the process. Let us see what you are doing. The failures and success is okay. People are scared of sharing in case they fail, but there's nothing wrong with not. People are scared of sharing in case they fail, but there's nothing wrong with not always getting it right. A lot of people are actually more inspired by seeing that you are human and what you are doing is what everyone can do if they just choose to put their mind to it. Now that was very, very inspiring to me, and which is why when I come on here every once in a while, I try to share my failures. I don't come on here to act like I'm perfect. I don't come on here to act like I know it all, because I don't. But it is good to show the process. And I realize that I don't do that a lot. And I think a lot of us Nigerians don't do that. If you ask me why, I really don't have an answer to why we don't. I think it's also because a lot of people, and it's human nature, so it's not only Nigerians in terms of what I'm about to say. I think a lot of people don't like to share the failures or the hard tryings. We just want to get to the good part, and then that's when we share it, which is always great. But then the problem is the generation coming behind you just think that, everything that you have was handed down to you. And so they don't want to work for it. And then it goes back to what Dupe was talking about in terms of the tensioning. I keep telling people, it takes a lot for you to be able to tension me. And I'm being very honest with you. I get inspired a lot by a lot of people, but I don't get tensioned. And I think it's a thin line, but I think a lot of us need to be more aware of it. You can see people do things that you aim for, right? And when I mean aim for, that you admire, that you're either there or you're hoping to be there, or even sometimes you've gone beyond that, but you're like, this is a good angle. I like the direction in which this person did this to attain this. If I had known this, and you're inspired, you're motivated, but not to see it and to say, oh, I must do the same. I will be better. You're tensioning yourself, and there's no need. In terms of showing people the process, it's hard sometimes because people don't like dirt. And when I mean dirt, people don't like to see the muckiness. They don't like to see the hard work, the grueling, the stress that it takes to get to the success. Let me give you an example. Constantly people are always sending me messages. I would love to work with you. I would love to work with you. And I've taken 1 or 2 people on board, and the end result has been tragic. First of all, a lot of people in this generation, both generations, Z and millennial generation, a lot of people don't want to work. People just want the success. They just want they want the end credits. They want the end products. My work, I work hard. I sweat. I'm humbled with the work that I do because I love it. If you're not passionate about anything that you're doing, hi guys, if the angle has changed because my battery ran out. So yeah. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, then what's the point to it, right? And so you hire these people and they realize that it's a lot of work. It is very humbling. It is very tasking. It takes a lot from you, and they just don't want to get with it. A lot of them drop out, and when the end result comes out, that's when they're tweeting about it. Oh, I worked on this, or that's when they try to make a story about you. They try to gaslight you. I worked with X, she's mean, she's this, she's that. No, you just lazy. You just really, really lazy. You're lazy. But anyways, let's go back to the point of this. Moving in silence. I think moving in silence is great, but I think every once in a while you need to toot your own horn. Every once in a while you need to scream from the rooftop, I am that badass bitch. Yes, I cursed. Yes, I said it because it's important. A lot of us suffer from imposter syndrome, and the things that we need to overcome. You are good. You are enough. You are smart. You are kind. You are beautiful, and you kick ass. So sometimes put humility aside and say, sis, I'm coming back. I will pick you up in a second, and go kill it and then shout it from the rooftop. People who make the loudest noises are people who do the least amount of work. I'm not trying to say compete with them. I'm not trying to say be as loud as them. But when you get to that point where you're so thankful that all the hard work and all the busting of your ass has paid off, you should be able to credit yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Take yourself out, but also scream it from the rooftop. Don't let humility keep you down. Don't let it put you in a box. So like I said, I'm all about moving in silence, but it's important to find that balance. Find that balance where you can own your shit. where you can speak your mind. Where I'm at right now, sometimes I try not to be cocky about it, but when people reach out to me and they're talking to me about certain things, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm like, listen, I did this, I did this, I did this. I've done that, I've done this, I did this. I can show it to you. Look at it here. This is the this, and that is the that. Oh, wow, I had no clue. Yeah, I did. Simple. As long as it's your work and you did it, take your credit. Take your credit. I think also that society and the country and the way we were brought up also is like a hindrance to it. Let me give you an example. And it's a bit sensitive. And I'm not trying to say I'm judging people who do it. I get it. But I'm just trying to say if you're doing it from a place of fear, then you need to overcome it. I'll give an example. When people are pregnant, right? I understand that pregnancy is not the easiest. I've had friends who have done reveals and stuff and lost the child. So I get all that sensitivity. But I also want people to understand that life is really short. And I'm starting to understand that. And maybe pregnancy or being pregnant and announcing your pregnancy might not be the best of examples, but I'm going somewhere. Get the idea of what I'm trying to say. The context, the gist. Our mothers will tell you when you're pregnant, don't announce, so in case anybody, in case this, in case that. And so I know a lot of people that haven't. And then the minute they have the kid, all they're doing for the next 1 month is letting us know and see all their pictures from when they got the pregnancy and they saw it to every single month to when they had it. And it's always beautiful to see. But imagine you carrying that child for 9 months and not being able to tell the world. It's not the world's business. So understand me, if you're one of the, I'm a no sharer. So don't expect that I will put it out there. I'm telling you now because it's not in my nature. But there's some people that genuinely always want to share. They are oversharers, and I don't think anybody should judge them for that. But imagine having to hold that kind of thing down and move in silence because, so like I said, it might not be the best of examples, but you get the gist, right? It's important. You're trying to get a job, you're trying to get to work at Google. You've been on a few interviews here and there, it hasn't paid off. You're on the final one right now. Nobody's telling you to call everybody and say, this thing, no, but you finally get it, you land it, you ace that interview, you get that job, you get that pay raise. You should be able to pick up the phone and call one or two of your homies and be like, yo, listen, man, this thing came through. I am so thankful. And if you want to announce it, hell, why not? Feel free to. So yes, life is all about balance, like I said before. But if you're doing these things and moving in silence because of fear or trying to fake humble, don't do it. You're doing yourself a disservice. Because trust me, there are two people out there taking credit for your shit. And that's worse. And just before I go and wrap this up, if you're one of those people who go out there taking credit for work that you did not do, life is full circle, bro. Sis, then she gonna come back and she gonna bite you. That's all I'm gonna say. Because one day, somebody will either call for a reference or put you to test. Give you money, give you work, and ask you to deliver. And then you're gonna fall short. What are you gonna do then? Bad boys, bad boys, bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Question. What are you gonna do? So like I said before, it's great to move in silence. You're an adult, we're all grown people. Use your discretion. Pray to God for wisdom. Use your spirit of discernment to know when to move in silence. But sometimes, toot your own horn. Shout it from the rooftop. Make some noise. That's all I wanted to say, my brothers and sisters. And so I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you not to I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that do you, man. Last go day okay. But don't let fear and silence hold you down. Alright guys, take care. Don't forget to subscribe, y'all. Subscribe, okay? Kisses, hugs, bye.